So, what if I told you that the next big promotion you're working so hard for could actually make you poorer and maybe even a lot more miserable? It sounds completely backward, I know, but it's a very real trap that's catching thousands of really ambitious, smart people. Let's break down exactly how it works. Take a look at this quote from Jessica. She landed a senior director role, got a $15,000 raise, and thought, this is it, I've finally made it. But fast forward just 6 months, and she had less in her savings account, was more stressed out than ever, and was actually thinking about quitting. Her story isn't some rare exception. It's a classic case of what we're calling the promotion paradox. So, what is this paradox exactly? Well, it's when getting that shiny new title and what looks like a bigger paycheck actually leads to you having less money and a lower quality of life. And this isn't just bad luck, it's a systematic trap that's kind of built into the way corporate careers are structured. To really see how this happens, we have to look past that big, flashy salary number and run the real math. The first part of this trap is just pure numbers. It's all about how taxes and lost benefits take a massive bite out of your raise before you ever even see a dime of it. Okay, let's break this down. Imagine you get a raise from $75,000 to $90,000. That's a 15 grand bump, right? Well, that new money isn't taxed to your old rate, no. It falls into a higher tax bracket. In this case, a marginal rate of over 34%. So, boom, over $5,000 is gone just like that. And on top of that, making more money can actually kick you out of certain tax benefits, like the student loan interest deduction. That could easily cost you another 2 grand. So here it is, visually. It's kind of shocking when you see it laid out like this. You're promised this big $15,000 boost, but after the system takes its cut, less than $8,000 actually lands in your pocket. Nearly half of your raise just vanishes into thin air. Let that sink in. 52%. You're taking on all this extra stress, all this new responsibility for basically half of what you thought you were getting. But believe it or not, the math actually gets worse from here. And this brings us to a concept that most people never, ever calculate: your take-home hourly rate. See, promotions almost always mean more hours. So in this example, going from a 45-hour week to a 55-hour week means your actual take-home pay per hour goes down. You are literally getting paid less for every hour you work. It's wild. Okay, so that was the math part of the trap. But the second part is way sneakier. It's about the invisible price tag that comes with that new title. It's all these subtle, unwritten expenses that suddenly become part of your life, turning lifestyle inflation from something you choose into something that's basically required. We call this the prestige tax. Nobody sends you a memo that says you have to lease a nicer car, but suddenly your old one feels kind of unprofessional for those new client meetings. You start noticing your new peers are all dressing a certain way, so you feel the pressure to upgrade your wardrobe. And those optional team dinners, yeah, that's where all the real conversations happen, so you have to be there. And since you're working crazy hours, you're spending way more on takeout and other conveniences. They feel like choices, but are they really? Not if you want to succeed in that new role. All right, quick reminder. Remember our math from before? After all the taxes and lost benefits, that big raise came down to an extra $656 a month. That's our starting point. Now, let's tally up the cost of that prestige tax. The new car payment, the clothes, the networking, the extra takeout, it can easily add up to over $1,000 a month. All of a sudden, your expenses have just exploded. And here it is, the brutal final math. When you subtract those new mandatory costs from your new take-home pay, you're in the red. You are now losing money every single month. You took a promotion to get ahead, but you've actually ended up financially behind. But the cost isn't just financial, and this might be the most important point. The biggest loss here might be the opportunity to build real, lasting wealth. True financial freedom almost never comes from a W-2 salary. It comes from having the time and the mental bandwidth to build a side hustle, learn a new skill, or actually manage your investments. And these demanding promotions, they are designed to steal both of those things from you. Just look at where your time goes in a demanding senior role. A 2024 NBER study actually found that side business income drops by 43% for people who start earning over $90,000. And why is that? It's pretty simple. Burnout and just a total lack of time make it nearly impossible. You're trading the very resources, your time and energy that can make you wealthy for a salary that doesn't even cover its own costs. Okay, so that's the trap. It's a pretty bleak picture, I know. But understanding how it works is the first step to avoiding it. So now let's pivot to the solution. There is a way to advance your career without falling into this paradox. You just need a new playbook. Now, the first strategy is the most radical one, but is powerful: the calculated decline. If you run the numbers on a promotion and you see it's a net loss, you can just say no. This is not career suicide. It is a strategic power move to protect your most valuable assets, your higher hourly rate, and your free time. Instead of more salary, you can try to negotiate for things that give you real value back. Now, what if the promotion does make mathematical sense? In that case, you can use what we call the gap strategy. It is so simple. You accept the job, but for the first full year, you pretend you didn't get a raise. You live on your old budget, and you set up an automatic transfer to invest every single dollar of that after-tax increase. This forces you to capture the financial gain before lifestyle inflation gets its claws into it. And the third strategy is to just redefine what a promotion even means to you. Instead of only chasing a higher salary, which we know gets hammered by taxes, negotiate for things that have a higher real-world value. Think more vacation time to avoid burnout, remote work to save time and money on commuting, or equity that could actually grow into real wealth down the line. These things often give you a much better return on your life. Ultimately, all of this comes down to a really important mindset shift. The corporate ladder was not designed to make you wealthy. It was designed to keep you working. So the real goal here should be to treat your salary as a tool to fund your investments and buy back your time, not as a scorecard for your self-worth. And that leaves us with one final big question you should ask yourself. Is your career a ladder that's actually taking you somewhere you want to go? Or are you just running faster and faster on a treadmill, working harder but ultimately staying in the exact same place? So here's what you can do right now. First, go run the real numbers on your last promotion. Be brutally honest with yourself. Second, if you realize you're in the trap, give yourself permission to make a change. It's not a step backward, it's a step toward freedom. And third, start practicing the gap strategy today. Figure out what 10% of your salary is after taxes and set up an automatic investment. Prove to yourself that you can outsmart the system and build a career that serves you, not the other way around.